If you want to become a thought leader in your space, a known expert, a sought after professional in your field, stay tuned. My name is Kaye Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. And when I first got started in 2012, nobody knew who I was, as you might expect. But over the years, through following this 4-step process that I'm going to teach you here in this video, I have attracted over 25,000 email subscribers, which are active, engaged email subscribers, not just every person that's ever signed up to my email list. We have 10,000 plus here on YouTube, almost 10,000 over on Instagram. We have a lot of people that are paying attention. And I'm really honored and grateful that I get paid really well to help my clients. And we have over 1,400 paying students in our courses. So if you want to do that, your own version of that in whatever field that you're in, let's get into it. First step of the framework is to decide what you want to be known for. And yeah, you could just pick that randomly out of the air, or you could follow one of these 3 ways of thinking about it to make a strategic decision about what you want to be known for. First would be the highest value transformation that you can provide to somebody. So yes, you might be great at weaving baskets, but maybe you also know how to create high quality virtual reality content. Chances are that second skill set is going to be higher value if you choose the right clients who really value that type of expertise. So pick the thing that you can create the most impact in. Second way to look at it, or to choose your focal point, would be to look at the intersection of a couple of your different obsessions. We always want to be building our brand around our truth, not trends, and we want to leverage our innate advantages. So your individual obsessions are a natural place for you to build a business, because you are going to have knowledge of the culture and the context and all of the idiosyncrasies of those obsessions. So for me, that was this love of business. I've been obsessed with the magic of business and digital, and then blending in the psychology and human behavior. So in this intersection of building a brand online and doing it in a psychology-driven way allowed me to combine these different, semi-related, but a little bit different intersection of my obsessions to create something unique. I think it was the massively successful entrepreneur Naval who mentioned if you can become the top 5% of like 3 overlapping areas, that puts you at the top of the field, at the top of your game. It's really hard to be the top 0.1% or the top 1% of a single field, but chances are not everybody is going to have the same blend of obsessions that you are. Thus, you'll create a unique position in the market. Third way of choosing your focal point is to cultivate a unique hypothesis or point of view. So perhaps you are doing something that lots of other people do. Perhaps you're helping people build a business online. But if you have a unique point of view as it relates to building a business online, maybe you're helping people do it while they sleep. Maybe you are also a digital nomad navigating all of the bureaucracy of living in different countries. Whatever your unique situation is, if you're going about it in a completely different way than most of the market, it is going to be a very high value position for your brand to occupy. So there's 3 ways that you can brainstorm your unique focal point so that you can decide what you want to be known for. Step 2 is start to expand your body of work. And by body of work, what I mean by this is the intellectual property that your brand owns. Maybe not necessarily every single blog post or every single tweet that you send out into the world. More on that in step 4. I'm talking here more about the foundational pieces of content, the frameworks, your proprietary process. So first, think about the overarching framework that encompasses all of your work. For me, this is my clarity code process. It starts from standing a brand up, figuring out who you are from the inside out, and then graduates all the way through the spectrum of being your brand in the market to how you're actually managing your energy as an entrepreneur. So different products of mine and different services of mine speak to different pieces of that overarching framework, but I can make sense of everything and I can explain things to my clients, to my students clearly because I have this overarching framework that encompasses all of the work that I do. You may also have subsystems. So underneath this overarching framework, you might have another process or another framework that's specific to a course or an offer that you have. You could even have a subsystem for a simple masterclass or webinar where you're going to teach a framework. Frameworks are great when you have things like visual metaphors, acronyms, a step-by-step process, some type of mental model that people can understand your work through. Second, and this may or may not be the same thing depending on your brand and your business, but it's to have a proprietary process. So once you're actually working with your clients or your students or your customers, what is that process that is unique to your brand, which gets them better than average results? If you're just another health coach doing the same old thing as everybody else, count your calories, do your workouts, that's gonna feel kind of stale, and it feels like everything else that somebody has come into contact with over the life of coming into contact with different health related brands. But if you're a health coach and you have the Whole30 framework, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, it becomes this specific process. So instead of just eat whole foods, watch your calories, eat clean, eat fresh, you can create specifics around how you know you're going to help people achieve the maximum amount of results. And that is your proprietary process. It's really important to give that proprietary process a name so it becomes something that your brand owns in the market. Third, underneath this maybe overarching framework, and then you have some subsystems or sub-frameworks, and then you have this named proprietary process. Again, you can condense these if it doesn't make sense for you to have 5 different things here. I'm just acknowledging that there's different ways to approach this. But underneath all of that, we want to start to develop tools and assets and swipe files and things that your client can grab on and use and know you for. Maybe you even have a piece of software that helps people implement your proprietary process in their life or in their business. Again, we're creating uniqueness. We're carving out a position in the market that wasn't there already by being more intentional about your brand's intellectual property than everybody else. Okay, so we know what we want to be known for. We have developed our framework around how we're going to get people amazing results. Step 3 is start to match this or marry this with who your ideal clients are, and we can do this in 2 ways. First way is to think about the customer journey. So where are people starting before they come into contact with you, and what journey of development do they go through? Now, this is a little bit different than the marketing customer journey. This isn't just the awareness, consideration, decision framework that we learn in marketing undergrad that just leads up to a single sale. This is the journey that a client or customer is going to take with you over the entire lifetime of them being a client or customer of your brand. So for me, this looks like a few different ways. It's kind of choose your own adventure, but most of my students first come into contact with me through my brand archetype quiz. And at the end of that quiz, they are offered a paid course called Brand Fluency that gives them the deep dive into their particular brand archetype or mix of archetypes so that they can incorporate that into their brand in the shortest amount of time possible. So that is typically the first thing that people buy. After that, they find that perhaps they want to create their full brand strategy. I have 2 options currently to create a full brand strategy for people that are more on the beginning stages, just getting started out, or they prefer to have more of a DIY process. I have Brand New Brand. And then over on the side of the house where people are a little bit more established, they have a little bit higher budget, or they just want to get things done more quickly, I offer a Clarity Code VIP session where I get all of the goodness out of an entrepreneur's brain, and then myself and my team create a full brand standards for that client. After that, people move into marketing. So I have an advanced mentorship program. I have a course that's all about just generating leads, which is Convert with a Quiz. So I've been intentionally thinking about the customer journey that they're going to take over a lifetime with me. This means that I can speak to people more specifically to exactly where they are at. And then the other part of this process of marrying your genius with the market is to think about your ideal client's transformation. A tool I really love for this is to think through the neurological levels of change, which come from NLP. So think about who your client is before. Like, what does their environment look like? What are their skills now? What are their values, behaviors, and identity? And then after they work with you, once they go through that journey with you, what are all of those things after? What's the environment? What are the behaviors, skills, values, and identity after somebody has the transformation that you are selling to them? Once you know all of those things, it is time to go forth and to create content, which is step number 4. So start to create your library of content. Wherever your platform is going to be, it doesn't matter for this. It matters that you're showing up. It matters that you are being a leader by creating more than you consume. So whether it's here on YouTube, you're writing on Medium, or on your blog post, or posting on social media, whatever that is for you, it's time to create content. Write about your framework. Tell people about your proprietary process. Explain the transformation that somebody is going to get when they go through this journey with you. We want to literally put our stake, our flag in the ground so that people start to associate our brand's intellectual property with us. We want them to know our words. We want to teach them why our proprietary process gets them superior results than other options. And none of this happens if all of your brand is stuck up here in your brain. We need to get it out into the world. And when you do all of these things, that is when the magic happens. That's when you become known. When you are known for a specific transformation, you have a unique process to get people superior results. You know your client or customer inside and out and speak really specifically to what they're experiencing right now and what they desire. And finally, we are actively creating content, publishing it in the world. We have all of the ingredients needed to be a high-paid, sought-after expert in our chosen field. I would love to hear in the comments, what is going to be your field of focus? What do you want to become known for? What do you want to be the go-to expert in? I can't wait to hear. And if you found this useful, give me that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. It appeases the YouTube algorithm, and I so appreciate that. And I would love for you to stick around for all of our future branding, entrepreneurship, and psychology videos that are coming out soon. All right, guys, I will see you soon.